immense pleasure to welcome the fraternal delegates from various countries, from various communist and workers' parties from the globe. I welcome the leaders of the left parties in our own country, India. I welcome the delegates from all over the country to the 24th Congress of our party at Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. Your presence in the Congress of the Communist Party of India, I mean the presence of our fraternal delegates and the presence of leaders of our left parties, underlines the internationalism inherent to the Marxist-Leninist ideology, the deep bonds we share and our shared commitment for a better future for humanity. Your presence sends a message of our unity in these adverse times, and it is also a source of confidence for us. Our Congress is taking place in the city of Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh. This region tells many stories of historic struggles, heroic struggles led by communists. The CPI-led Telangana rebellion against the atrocious rule of Nizam is part of legends now. We got land rights for the peasantry of this region and ensured Hyderabad's integration to the Indian Union by sacrificing our blood and lives. Later, the communists also led the movement for a separate linguistic state for the Telugu-speaking people, which was formed as Andhra Pradesh. Comrades, the formidable communist movement of the Telugu-speaking region gave us many luminaries, people like C. Rajeshwar Rao, Ravinarayan Reddy, P. Sundaraya, M. Basavapunnaya, Magdu Maidin, and Neelam Rajshekar Reddy strengthened the left movement with their toil, hard work, dedicated work. Vijayawada also has the historic significance for the people elected Comrade T. Venkateshwar Rao as the first mayor, communist mayor in Vijayawada city. It is also historic for us, the only city in the country that is hosting CPI National Congress for third time in Vijayawada. I thank our comrades and people of Vijayawada for continuously showering on us with their affection and support. Comrades, today the entire world is witness to grave imperialist assaults and rise of right-wing, far-right forces. Despite this aggressive posturing of the right-wing forces, rays of hopes are also visible throughout the globe in these gloomy times. All over the world, the left is fighting against the forces of neoliberalism, religious fundamentalism, xenophobia, and discrimination. The left has enabled strong resistance movement against the anxieties created by the spread of finance capital in many countries of Latin America. These movements are resisting, solidified, and assumed power with a strong pro-people agenda while resisting imperialist onslaught. Comrades, friends, these developments are important both economically as they present an alternative and geopolitically for the resistance to the United States-led hegemonic order. The left is consistent in raising its voice against all forms of exploitation. The left is in solidarity with the people's movement all over the globe. We extend our solidarity to the people of Palestine who are fighting against illegal apartheid regime. We are extending our solidarity. We extend our solidarity with the people of Cuba who are resisting imperialist aggression every day. Comrades, we extend our solidarity with all the people who are fighting against the imperialist forces for their own rights and justice. In the background of Russia-Ukraine military conflict and war, the US imperialism with its NATO allies is trying to reimpose the unipolar world order, which is being resisted by the people across the world. Comrades, as the revolutionary Che Guevara once said, if you tremble with indignation at every injustice, then you are a comrade of mine. That comrade can be anywhere in the world. This is what Che Guevara meant. I extend my solidarities, everyone fighting for justice on behalf of the Communist Party of India at the time of its 24th National Congress. Comrades, our nation is witnessing very major assaults on our parliamentary democracy under the BJP RSS rule. Discrimination and vilification against minorities, encroachments of the rights of the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and women, polarization, privatization of public sector undertakings, and brazen attempts at subverting the very constitution, our constitution, have become frequent. BJP governments, the neoliberal policy structure, which is pro-corporate houses, pro-Ambani, Adani combined, is resulting in unprecedented concentration of wealth with a top few, majority of our population getting impoverished, and many are reduced to destitution. Unemployment is at unprecedented high. Modi government's mismanagement of COVID-19 pandemic claimed lives and livelihoods of millions of our people and plunged the nation into deep crisis. Comrades, trampling all democratic institutions and dividing society has been the agenda of RSS. RSS is using fabricated victimhood to aggressively mobilize the religious majority against minorities on dangerously communal lines. RSS BJP are quick in for their Hindutva project. Hollowness of development claims made by BJP are not being discussed by BJP itself, since they hold no water. BJP cannot justify any of its claim. Instead of giving jobs, RSS BJP is giving hatred and anxieties to the youth. Instead of elevating the nation from poverty and inequality, the RSS BJP combined is elevating the nation of peace and communal harmony. Comrades, the public sector has been the solid foundation of our economy. It was the public sector that made us self-sufficient in core sectors while giving opportunities to the disadvantaged communities through reservation policies. Systematic dismantling of the public sector under Modi is the result of ideological reliance on neoliberalism. The Ambani-Adani brand is the result of the more and more dependence on neoliberalism. The Adani-Ambani brand of crony capitalism is threatening our economic sovereignty and defeating the idea of social justice. Now, at the time of aggressive neoliberal economic development, how can one expect social justice? This is a major issue which has come today. Multinational corporate giants with no social responsibility are plundering the natural resources. They are looting the national assets, our forests, our mines, our rivers, our fields are at their disposal to exploit. Irreparable damage is being done to the environment in the search for profits. That is one of the reasons for the climatic disaster in our country, environmental distress in our country. Comrades, ugly expressions of capitalism are knocking at our doors. The BJP says that the Prime Minister is working day and night. Yes, he is working day and night to hand over the country as a whole, India, to the corporate houses. The country is handed over for loot and plunder by the corporate houses. This is what Modi regime is doing. After sectors like manufacturing and services, capitalism is now looking to dominate agriculture, Indian agriculture, as we saw in the form of the 3 farm laws, the agrarian laws. Unemployed and frustrated young people, young men and women of the country, especially the educated ones, are restive. There is unrest among the young people of our country. Modi of crore year, but the destruction of the Indian economy under him is so disastrous, drastic, that nothing can be materialized. Adding insult to injury, BJP government armed for this amounts nothing less than the promise youth and students. Now the young generation is questioning Mr. Modi, challenging the regime of Mr. Modi. The COVID-19 crisis proved beyond doubt that the only political force which can give a substantial and pro-people model of governance is the left. The policies of the right wing are based on profit and greed, while the left model is one of selflessly serving the people. In Kerala, I refer to Kerala. In Kerala, the development model was reconstructed to effectively combat the pandemic. Its success was lauded all over by the country, and it received applause from many international platforms. Comrades, friends, the RSS assault on the idea of India, their attack on the idea of India is continuing with great vigor and state patronage, support of the government. The idea of Hindi, Hindu, country. India is a country with tremendous diversities. Their contempt for our constitution, which has been given to us by Dr. Ambedkar and galaxy of leaders, is being destroyed. This is what is being done by RSS, BJP combined. Comrade, their contempt for constitution is destroying the secular character, the welfarist character, the federalist character of our country. Now, using the state power to systematically discriminate against them. Attacks on Dalits and institutional discrimination have reached new heights after RSS dispensation coming to power. Comrades, lousy implementation of the 5th schedule of our constitution and PESA Act remain serious issues, created serious challenges for the tribal population, Adivasi people of our country. Demand of conducting caste issues, caste census is gaining pace in many parts of the country, but the BJP is adamant on not including caste as criteria for framing policies for the upliftment of the poor and backward sections of our people. This is fueling unrest among the backward castes. Gender stereotypes. This is very important in our country. Gender stereotypes are being reinforced for the revivalist turn under RSS to women, to keep women subjugated. Women should not have equal rights. Women empowerment should not be accepted. They must be subjugation. Crimes, violence against women crimes, violence against women are daily affair as usual under the current dispensation of BJP RSS. So much so that many instances of BJP leaders violating women and the state machinery backing them have come to the light. Comrades, it should be understood here that Indian society is divided not just between classes. We also have the caste structure which is hierarchical, which is resilient and stubborn caste structure. It should be underlined that no revolutionary strategy can succeed without annihilating caste, without annihilation of caste. Patriarchy and consequent misogyny are major issues that are subordinating half of our population. We have to tackle the issues of class, caste and patriarchy collectively to move forward for social emancipation and to defeat BJP RSS combined comprehensively, not only politically but ideologically. We must defeat BJP RSS. We must also take note that the changes that are taking place in the composition of working classes and the issues they face. We are a youthful nation. Everybody claims India is of youthful young people. India consists of large young people. It is nation of youth. But what is happening? We are a youthful nation, no doubt, but the potential of internet and information technology must be considered seriously for the changes it has brought in our everyday lives. But internet also presents us with immense learning opportunities, and no children of our country should miss out on these opportunities. Issues like lack of social security in emerging areas of economic stability, isolation in urban areas should be taken up by us. Our youthful population is falling prey to depression. Mental health has become a huge problem for our young people. Youthful population is falling prey to depression and other mental health issues. In this increasingly individualistic society, the values are degrading. The values are being let down. So degrading individualistic society, we must foster comradely social solidarity and bonds to mitigate these very evil issues. Here, comrades, our party has been insisting that it is imperative that we take up the public health, public education, land, housing, employment and food security as the fundamental demands of our agenda. The RSS is trying to redefine the past and appropriates its legacy. Our future programs should be inclusive of the rich work and legacy of our progressive thinkers, writers and social reformers. The emphasis of medieval poets like Kabir, Raidas on equality, the rationality professed by Periyar and Ayyankali, the efforts to achieve rights for downtrodden by Srinarayan Guru and Dr. Ambedkar should form part of our struggle. The RSS is trying to contaminate the public space with hate. We should recapture that with harmony and unity, with concern and compassion for our fellow citizens. Comrades, we must explain to the people what RSS is trying to do to our country. Our agenda is diametrically opposite to what RSS is trying to achieve economically, socially and culturally. To defeat the RSS BJP, the opposition's agenda should also be distinct from RSS. A left of center position among secular democratic parties is needed to cement a principled unity against RSS BJP. The left will have to play a role, will have to take initiative in forging such unity to defeat BJP and RSS. We are going to have general elections to Parliament in 2024. Here our left leaders are there. I appeal to them also. We have to work together and play a role in forging the unity of all secular democratic forces, keeping in view the primary objective must be to defeat BJP and RSS. Comrades, the CPI is clear about the historic role of the left in defending the fundamental interests of the nation and its people. With this vision and sense of historical responsibility in this unprecedented and new political situation, CPI is raising the banner of left unity, the unification of the communist movement. We are sincerely raising that issue. The situation demands more and more strengthened left unity must be strengthened, and we must strive for unification of the communist movement on principled basis. Comrades, the new political situation, CPI has been making very strong appeal to all the revolutionary forces, communist forces in the country to come together, because after all, the Modi has declared communism is the dangerous ideology. It comes as wildfire, jungle fire. It destroys everything. For right-wing fascist forces led by RSS, BJP combined, the ultimate opponent is the communist ideology. This is what we should understand, and we should work for more stronger left unity and communist unity. Comrades and friends, I do not intend to take much of your time. The 24th Congress of our party is taking place at a critical time, not only in the history of our country, but in the history of the world. And there are very aggressive, multiple attacks coming from imperialist forces, particularly the US and NATO forces. There are multiple attacks coming from the right-wing fascist forces within our own country. And as a party, we should take up this challenge, and we should stand up and declare that we will not allow the right-wing fascist forces to ruin our country, to subvert our constitution, to subvert our democratic polity. We should declare. So, friends, with this, I once again thank all of you, and let us declare from this Congress, we for equality, for justice, for fraternity among the people. We stand for secularism, federalism and socialism. Comrades, while I end, I make the very fervent call, long live the CPI, Communist Party of India. Long live the Communist Party of India. Long live the left unity. Long live the communist unity. Long live the unity of patriotic forces. Red salute to all our martyrs. Red salute to all our martyrs. Red salute to those who keep the red flag high and high. And we salute all those heroes and heroines. Comrades, we all give the slogan, Inqulab Zindabad. Inqulab Zindabad. But Inqulab, how, when we will accomplish Inqulab? There I appeal to our left leaders, communist leaders. We have to put our heads together and we will have to make collective efforts to fight against the forces of exploitation and liberate our people from all forms of exploitations and enslavements. And India should be built on new ideological, philosophical basis, that is socialism. Thank you, comrades. I formally inaugurate the 24th Congress of our party, the Communist Party of India. Long live CPI.
Thank you very much, Comrade D. Raja, General Secretary of our party, for outlining international and national situation and presenting before you the immediate task. On behalf of Presidium, I feel pleasure to invite Comrade Sitaram Yechuri, General Secretary of Communist Party of Marxist, to deliver his address to our Congress. I invite Comrade Sitaram Yechuri.
Al-Salam. Comrades of the Presidium, Comrade D. Raja, General Secretary CPI, Comrade Dipankar Bhattacharya, General Secretary CPI ML, Comrade Devarajan from the Forward Bloc, the Chairman of the Reception Committee, Comrade Narayana, comrades from the Fraternal Communist and Workers' Parties who are present here, comrade delegates, observers, guests, dignitaries and friends. On behalf of the Communist Party of India Marxist, I convey a warm fraternal greetings to this 24th Congress of the Communist Party of India and my red salute to all of you who have gathered here. I sincerely thank you for inviting me to join this inaugural session. I greet the leaders of other left parties and reinforce the mutual desire for strengthening left unity to meet the very grave challenges that our country and people face today. Dear comrades and friends, you are gathered here in Vijayawada, the political center of the state of Andhra Pradesh. This city has been the center of revolutionary activities of communists for many decades, and this continues even today. Your meeting in this political center that saw the launch of one of the most significant people's struggles in our country, the armed struggle of the peasantry against brutal feudal oppression. Vijayawada was the political center. This armed struggle ensured the liberation of around 30 lakh peasants for 18 months, distributing over 10 lakh acres in 3,000 villages, covering an area of 16,000 square miles. This, along with the other struggles led by the communists, like the Tabaga struggle of the peasantry in West Bengal, Punapravailar in Kerala, the Varli tribal struggle for land in Maharashtra, the Surma Valley struggle in Assam, all led by the communists, this actually brought the issue of land reforms and zamindari abolition to the center stage of Indian politics. The communist movement and the people's struggles led by the Communist Party have a deep root in this area. I am confident that by holding this Congress here, as you were informed, the United Party Congress's last Congress was held in in Vijayawada in 61, that this Congress holding here will further consolidate the communist influence and work for strengthening the unity and solidarity among the left forces. Comrades, this Congress of the CPI is being held when independent India and our people are facing the gravest of challenges in the last 7 decades. Controlling the reins of state power, this BJP government is aggressively pursuing the Hindutva communal agenda of the fascistic RSS. Rabid communal polarization, venal campaigns of poisonous hate and terror, targeting religious minorities, particularly the Muslims, is accompanied by a serious assault undermining the Constitution of India and seeking to transform the secular democratic Republic of India and its character into the RSS project of a rabidly intolerant fascistic Hindutva Rashtra. Simultaneously, the BJP government has mounted a multi-pronged attack with the pursuit of rabid neoliberal policies, strengthening the communal corporate nexus, looting our national assets, promoting crony capitalism, legalizing political corruption, and imposing full-fledged authoritarianism, assaulting the democratic rights and civil liberties of our people. There are systematic efforts that are on to change the character of the Indian Republic. The 4 fundamental pillars, foundational pillars of our Constitution, that is secular democracy, federalism, social justice, and economic sovereignty. All this is destroying India's economic sovereignty, and it is happening in a multidimensional manner, going beyond the normal privatization that neoliberalism prescribes. The secular principles enshrined in our Constitution are under severe assaults. In fact, the public ceremony Indian state is a state. The BJP have been enacting laws aimed at sharpening communal polarization. These are routinely used to target innocent people from the minority communities and to physically attack them. The UAPA, sedition, NSA are indiscriminately used to detain hundreds of people. These draconian provisions are invoked not only against minorities, but also against journalists and others who express their dissent against these government views. Dissent is being treated as anti-national. There's all-round attack on federalism and the rights of the elected state governments. The governors and the lieutenant governors function more as the political agents of the central government and the RSS and the BJP. And further, instead of moving towards the constitutional guarantee of equality and realizing the objectives of social justice, the socially oppressed sections of people are subjected to greater injustice and discrimination. Along with this assaults on the foundational pillars of our Constitution, every single independent constitutional authority is being undermined, starting from the Parliament itself, the judiciary, the Election Commission, and the ED and the CBI are being used as political agents of the ruling party and targeting opposition leaders and using that as an method of gaining support of elected legislatures even after losing elections. They formed the government, the BJP formed the government, and this is one of the methods that they use for that. So this situation with the corporate control over the media and the choicest dissemination of information and news which only suits the ruling dispensation, with this situation overall, the assaults on our very existence of a secular democratic Republic of India are mounting severely by the day. In addition to this, the Hindutva communal ideology, being unscientific and ahistorical, assaults both rationality and reason. The spread of obscurantism, superstition, blind faith helps the easier assimilation of Hindu mythology, which can increasingly be passed off as actual history. This assaults the scientific temper and rationality. Along with this, the Modi government has today abandoned India's time-tested foreign policy. India has been reduced to a subordinate ally of US imperialism in all global matters. India has cemented strategic ties with Israel, diluted our traditional historical support and solidarity with the Palestinian cause and struggles. The US-Israel-India nexus has been consolidated. India further cemented the strategic military ties with USA. The Quadrilateral Alliance, or the Quad, of USA, Japan, Australia and India has become an active strategic and military alliance in the Indo-Pacific region, aiming to isolate China. Notwithstanding the propaganda blitz unleashed by the government, our economy is today in a tailspin, plunging downwards. Yesterday, all the international agencies have further downscaled India's forecast for this year's economic growth. On top of the miseries imposed by the gross mishandling of the COVID pandemic, this economic downslide is a mounting severe assaults on people's livelihood. Unemployment has recorded the highest of levels. Runaway inflation is pushing millions into poverty and hunger. And today, the global hunger index has come, and we are ranked at just 2 positions above Afghanistan, while every single of our neighbors are above us and much higher. This attacks on people's livelihood, this is being met with resistance. People's struggles are on the rise. The struggles are on the rise to defend our constitution, to defend secular democracy, and mainly against assaults on livelihood and miserable conditions of existence of the people. The anti-CAA upsurge saw massive mobilizations, particularly women and youth. The year-long historic Kisan struggle forced the obdurate Modi government to repeal the farm laws. The central trade unions have been successfully holding annual All India strikes every year, the last being the 2-day strike in March this year, and the increased calls of coordinated actions and struggles by the workers, by the peasantry and the agricultural labor. This is showing the path ahead for united struggles in the future. But increasing the strength of the left forces and their unity in struggles is very vital for further intensifying people's struggles. On the basis of the unity of the left and democratic forces will have to be gathered together on an alternative program. And at the same time, all the left forces must work together, in our opinion, to forge the broadest mobilization of secular forces to isolate and defeat Hindutva communalism and these communal forces and this government. And this has to be achieved by showing an alternative path to the people. And there, our LDF government, in which both our parties are there, our LDF government in Kerala, through its alternative pro-people policies, earned the goodwill of the people to be elected to form an unprecedented consecutive state government in Kerala. Its achievements enabled Kerala to register the highest ranking in human development indices in the country. The RSS and the central government are leaving no stone unturned to destabilize the LDF government. Together, the left forces must thwart these efforts. The CPIM believes that by undertaking all these tasks simultaneously, that is, strengthening ourselves independently, strengthening left unity, forging the left and democratic forces on an alternative program, and working for the largest mobilization of secular forces against Hindutva communalism, we will be able to rally the Indian people in defense of democracy, improving people's livelihoods, safeguarding the secular democratic character of India, and moving towards creating a better India for our people. So therefore, I am confident that this 24th Congress of the CPI, you will deliberate all these issues. Comrade Raja has already indicated the important issues that will be considered by this Congress, and these deliberations will further strengthen the process of unification in struggles of the left forces in our country, and therefore I wish your Congress all success in its deliberations. So together we have to work for ousting this RSS BJP government, strengthen and consolidate left unity, forge unity of left and democratic forces in struggles for policy alternatives, for the broadest mobilization of secular forces against Hindutva communalism. Long live Marxism-Leninism, and my revolutionary greetings to all of you and this party Congress. Lal Salam.
हमारी पार्टी कांग्रेस को शुभकामनाएं देने और एकजुटता व्यक्त करने के लिए मैं सीपीआईएम के जनरल सेक्रेटरी कॉमरेड सीताराम येचुरी का प्रेसिडियम और स्टीयरिंग कमेटी की ओर से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं। और अब मैं भारत की कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी मार्क्सवादी लेनिनवादी लिबरेशन के महासचिव कॉमरेड दीपांकर भट्टाचार्य जी से ये अनुरोध कर रहा हूं कि वे आएं और इस कांग्रेस के प्रति अपनी शुभकामनाएं संदेशित करें। कॉमरेड दीपांकर भट्टाचार्य।
Respected comrades of the Presidium, esteemed guests from fraternal parties in South Asia and elsewhere in the world, and from our own left parties in India, delegates and observers assembled at the 24th Congress of the Communist Party of India. Warm revolutionary greetings to you all. Great salute. Thank you, Comrade D. Raja, for inviting me to greet this inaugural session. It gives me great pleasure to wish your Congress every success on behalf of the Central Committee of the CPIML and the entire membership of the party. I cherish my memories of having interacted with many stalwarts of your party, including Comrades Chandra Rajeshwara Rao, Indrajit Gupta, A.B. Bardhan, Jagannath Sarkar, Chaturanand Mishra and Bhogendra Jha. I pay my respectful tribute to all these departed stalwarts of the CPI and the great martyrs and leaders of the historic Telangana uprising and the subsequent waves of struggles in Srikakulam and other areas of undivided Andhra Pradesh. Comrades, we are meeting at a time when the world finds itself drawn once again into the vortex of a major war. Even as global capitalism is mired in a deep and prolonged recession, and the world is yet to recover from the massive disruption and disaster caused by the COVID-19 global pandemic. It has been nearly 8 months since Russia unilaterally invaded Ukraine, calling Ukraine's independence a flawed Leninist legacy that needs to be undone. This unjust war has already taken a heavy toll and must be brought to a quick end in a way which respects and guarantees Ukraine's sovereignty and stops NATO's continuing eastward expansion. Amidst disturbing signs of a pronounced rightward shift in Europe, we draw inspiration from the renewed resurgence of the left in Latin America and the powerful assertion of women in Iran that is growing into a popular uprising against the repressive theocratic regime. Ever since Modi's second successive victory in the Lok Sabha elections in 2019, we have been facing a rapidly escalating fascist offensive on all fronts. Proceeding from the 2014 election slogan of Congress Mukt Bharat, the regime is now bent on making India an opposition-free democracy. Opposition MLAs are being bought wholesale, opposition-led governments are being toppled in a series, opposition parties and leaders are being heckled by central agencies, and movement activists, fake news busting journalists, and justice-seeking lawyers are being hounded out and jailed. Muslims are being demonized day in and day out, and genocide calls are being issued more openly, frequently, and loudly. Dalits are facing increased atrocities and exclusion, the latest example being the persecution of Delhi AAP leader Rajendra Pal Gautam for organizing a mass conversion to Buddhism on the occasion of Ashoka Vijayadashmi or the Dhammachakra Pravartan Din. When JP Nadda boasts that the BJP is the only party that will survive in India, when Amit Shah tells us that the BJP is here to rule for the next 50 years, when Mohan Bhagavat insists that India is already a Hindu Rashtra, Hindu nation, when Ajit Doval dubs the civil society the new frontier of war, they portray for us the India of their dreams. This dream of a communist fascist India was rejected by our freedom movement, which went on to adopt a constitution and opt for a secular democratic republic. Today, from the vantage point of state power, the Sangh BJP establishment is working overtime to subvert and overturn this constitutional vision of a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, to imprison India in its communal fascist framework. The RSS has all along harbored this design since its inception in 1925. What makes it capable of inflicting its design on the country today is the power it enjoys through the Modi government and its ability to combine this state power with the street power of its vigilante squads. The increasing centralization of power in the hands of the Modi government is weakening India's federal framework and democratic institutions and granting greater patronage and impunity to the vigilante squads of the Sangh Brigade. The other source of power is the unprecedented concentration of wealth in the hands of India's richest billionaires, with the government increasingly being reduced to a dispensation of the super rich, by the super rich, for the super rich. We must rescue India from the ravages of this social, political and economic disaster and rebuild India on the basis of powerful and deep-going democratic foundations to realize the dreams of Bhagat Singh and Ambedkar, Phule and Periyar. We cannot but remember that the journey of the Hindutva forces and India's communists began around the same time in the 1920s. Today, if the RSS has amassed the strength to inflict its design on the country, we Indian communists certainly have the responsibility to foil this design and lead India towards the fulfillment of the constitutional promise of liberty, equality, fraternity and justice. We understand that this is going to be a protracted battle akin to a second round of freedom movement, and we communists need to unite all our strength, harness all our energy and summon all our courage to rise to the occasion. During the freedom movement and for much of India's post-independence journey, the RSS had remained relegated to the margin. We communists must once again push them back to the fringe. We must draw on the entire spectrum of the radical legacy of India's freedom movement, from the anti-imperialist and anti-feudal struggles to the rich tradition of anti-caste resistance and assertion of rationalism and India's cultural diversity, as well as the vast range of powerful struggles for radical social transformation and defense of democracy in the post-independence period. We must unite the people as extensively as we can in their everyday struggles and build powerful mass opposition to the growing corporate plunder and privatization of public assets and services. Amid building on the power of united mass struggles, we must forge a broad, functional and dynamic unity of diverse opposition forces to isolate and defeat the fascists through a determined resistance. Once again, I wish the CPI Congress every success to this end and promise our fullest cooperation on behalf of the CPIML to overcome the unprecedented challenges facing us today. Long live the unity of all fighting forces, all for a resurgence of the communist movement to defend democracy and defeat fascism. Red salute to all of you.
Thank you, Comrade Deepak Bhattacharya, General Secretary of CPI-ML Liberation. Now I request Comrade G. Devarajan, leader of All India Forward Bloc, is here. I request him for fraternal greetings.
Respected comrades in the Presidium and the General Secretary of Communist Party of India, Comrade D. Raja, Comrade Sitaram Yechury, the General Secretary of Communist Party of India, Comrade Dibankar Bhattacharya, the General Secretary of Communist Party of India, Marxist-Leninist Liberation, and the fraternal delegates from different countries, and dear friends and comrades. In fact, I am not so imprudent to make a political speech here, because all the delegates gathered here are more experienced than me. So I am not taking this platform to make a political speech. First of all, on behalf of our party, the All India Forward Bloc, the party founded by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, extends our sincere, warm greetings to the historical 24th Congress of Communist Party of India. And I am grateful to the leaders of Communist Party of India to invite a delegate from All India Forward Bloc to address this inaugural session of this party congress. Comrades, this party congress of CPI comes at a time when the left parties and the progressive movements are facing major challenges from right-wing reactionary forces and communal forces. The ruling clique is advancing by destroying the time-proven secular traditions and the democratic practices of our country. The government led by Narendra Modi is destroying every essence of our constitution under the shadow of their brute majority. The whole nation is witnessing how the veneer of the democratic fabric is being peeled off layer by layer by the government of the day. It is a fact that the government engages in such activities by taking the maximum advantage of disunity among the opposition parties. Our country is facing serious economic crisis, not only in economic sector, in all sectors. The economic growth of the country is going down day by day, and the nation is currently facing high underlying inflation, which causes the rise of prices of all essential commodities. Most of the micro, small, medium enterprises, generally we call MSMEs, were closed due to demonetization and the unscientific implementation of GST. Millions of workers have lost their jobs and livelihood. The value of Indian rupees, when we got independence, it was 1 rupee is equal to $1. Now we have to pay 83 Indian rupees to buy a single dollar. When Narendra Modi came into power, it was 64 rupees only. Now it is 83 rupees. We all heard the vehement speeches of Narendra Modi in different platforms that why Pakistan currency is not going down, why Bangladesh currency is not going down, why Chinese currency is not going down, why Indian currency only is going down. That was the speeches of Narendra Modi during election in 2014. Now Indian currency is going rapidly down every day. Even today it is 84 rupees per American dollar. Devaluation of currency means reduction in the external value of the domestic currency. A weaker currency will further escalate imported commodity prices and lead to the higher inflation. As an attempt to check inflation, the desperate Reserve Bank of India has taken some measures. But despite all these exercises, the prices of all essential commodities are still too high to afford the common people. Albeit, the government is mocking the public perception by claiming that our country is growing day by day. Every day they are putting a rosy picture about the Indian economy. Comrades, unemployment is also one of the major issues in our country. You all know, I know very well that in your resolutions, you have elaborately discussing about this economic crisis and unemployment. But not only unemployment, underemployment also increasing in our country. If you see a young man is riding his bike having a backpack in his shoulder, and you just stop him and ask, what is your designation? He will say, I am a sales executive, I am a marketing executive, and a big names he will say. And you simply ask him the salary. He will say 8,000 rupees per month, 12,000 rupees per month. So exploitation is taking place in very much in a rapid way. And his work starts from the morning 6 o'clock and it ends at 10 o'clock in the night. There is no work hours. Exploitation of the workers is happening every day in every sector. Young people are scrambling for steady income job. By implementing the unscientific, impractical and dangerous Agnipath scheme, the government has ruined the dreams of young people to at least join in the army. That source also the government is closed. The farmers are struggling for their survival. They defeated the black laws brought against them by the government with organized strength and unity. The workers are struggling against the codification of labor laws and privatization of national and natural assets. The hard-earned rights of the workers have been sabotaged in the name of ease of doing business. The employees of the banks, insurance, coal, post and telegraph, port and docks, defense equipment production, railways, and the workers of the unorganized sectors are up in arms against the government and struggling for their survival. Comrade, democracy is also facing challenges under Modi regime, as Comrade D. Raja and Siddharama Yechury and Comrade Dipankar also explained. But the pipers of the administration mislead the nation that the country and the government are one and the same. This is very important now. The rendered writers, the rendered speakers, the rendered media people, they are now writing that government means nation. And government and nation are one and the same. They are misleading the nation. Government is for a particular period. And if you criticize the government, it will be treated as anti-national and you will be imprisoned. Such a dangerous situation is prevailing in our country nowadays. So democracy is in danger. The government is trying to send a terrifying message that those who speak out against the policies of the government and for the victims of anti-democratic struggles will be imprisoned. Freedom of the media. Our media people are here. India stands in the 150th position among 182 countries. There is no media freedom in our country. That's supposed to be the fourth pillar of our democracy. Freedom of media has been suppressed by the government. Drastic controls on information, obstructing the dissemination of articles and videos, intimidation by the security forces and other inquiry agencies, every kind of judicial harassment and violation of confidentiality of sources. The list of press freedom violations by the authorities is unworthy of a democracy. Our party is of the opinion that the time has come for the people to unite beyond the party politics against the anti-democratic, anti-secular attitude of the government and its mentor, the Sangh Parivar. Only the movement of the people can resist and defeat the arrogant austerity of the power. When the country is facing very serious economic and labor problems, the government is trying to divert the public attention by inflaming religious rivalry without discussing any such issues. It is the need of the hour that the left unity should be strengthened than ever before. Left unity should not be built on temporary parliamentary profit and loss. The unity of the left must be fostered through collective mass struggle and through the unity of the mass organizations. For example, I can tell you, there are 11 central trade unions are working in our country according to the recognition from the Ministry of Labour and Employment in Government of India. Out of 11 central trade unions, 10 central trade unions are united, including INDUC and TAITUC, INDUC and CITU, INDUC and HMS, INDUC and AICCTU, INDUC and TUCC, INDUC and UTUC. So if these trade unions can unite, because they know that they cannot survive without unity, if the trade unions can unite for their survival, why not the youngsters, the youth organizations of the left parties and the democratic parties can't unite for employment, for against this this impractical scheme of the government? Why not the peasants of the left unity, the peasant organization of the left unity can't unite? When the non-political peasant organization, they came into the street and defeated the black class of the government, we, the left parties, Kisan Sabhas were forced to support them and join the movement. Why we cannot organize the movement? So it must be a prelude. If you want the left unity, the unity of the mass organization must be a prelude for making that left unity. I think the Communist Party of India can play a very vital role in this direction, and I hope that in this historical party congress may take such a resolution to make such a unity among the mass organizations. I am confident that this party congress, 24th Congress of CPI, will certainly chart out detailed strategy to strengthen the unity of left, secular, democratic forces across the country. We are of the firm opinion that such unity is the need of the hour when our great nation is being lacerated by the communal divisive forces. Once again, I wish all success to the 24th Congress of CPI and hope that this process of exchange of views will certainly strengthen the fraternal relation between our two parties and will streamline the process of left, secular and democratic unity. Finally, I was just hearing the speech of Comrade D. Raja and Comrade Sitaram Yechuri. Both the leaders were emphasizing the unity of the left, the unity of the democratic forces, the unity of the secular forces. If the leaders are ready, then where is the problem? As a young comrade working among the left parties across the country, I couldn't understand. All the leaders are speaking about the unity, unity, unity. Then we must be adhere to the point which we are making before the August House. Finally, I thank to the comrades of Andhra Pradesh, because when I started one Bharat Yatra to constitute one inquiry commission to inquire about the disappearance of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, the comrades of Andhra Pradesh CPI, they welcomed me in such a way from Anandapur to when I reached Maharashtra. Comrade Narayana, Comrade Ramakrishna and all other leaders, they supported me, they received me when I started this journey. Finally, I dedicate this precious moment to my beloved comrade, Comrade Soni Tangamam. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Comrade Devarajan, leader for All India Forward Bloc. Before we conclude the session, there is a small function of 5 minutes where our editor, who wrote 3 volumes of Communist Party of India history, it will be released by Comrade D. Raja, Comrade Sitaram Yechuri and Comrade Deepankar Bhattacharya. I request Comrade Gaddam Koteshwar Rao, editor, who edited all these 3 volumes, to come and give a small, brief introduction for 3 minutes.
Respected Presidium and comrades, the program of the history of the Communist Party of India to be drafted was taken by the then party State Council headed by Comrade Giri Prasad. Subsequently, the efforts were continued by Comrade Sudhakar, Comrade Narayana, Comrade Dasari, and also the Vijayawada Publishing House. The then chairman, Comrade Chada Venkatreddy, the present chairman, Comrade Mopal Nageswar Rao, and the leadership of Vijayawada Vignan Samiti, including its general manager, took all pains to help us to draft the 3 volumes of Communist Party of India State Council history from 1920 to 1948. The first draft was actually written by Comrade Kamampat Senior, who was a colleague of Comrade Sundaraya and also Comrade Amir Aider Khan, and that was revised now. The second volume was also drafted by veterans of the communist movement in Andhra Pradesh. The third volume was compiled, material was supplied by the senior comrades and compiled by me. I take this opportunity to thank comrades Giri Prasad, late Comrade Giri Prasad, late Comrade Dasare, Comrade Sudhakar, Comrade Narayana, and the Vijayawada Publishing House. I now request comrades to release the book. The first volume is to be released by Comrade Raja, General Secretary of the Communist Party of India. Comrade Raja, I request Comrade Raja to release the book, first volume. The second volume is to be released by Comrade Sitaram Yechuri, General Secretary of CPIM. The third volume is to be released by Comrade Deepankar Bhattacharya. once again thank the State Council of the Communist Party of India, Comrade Ramakrishna, Comrade Jelly Wilson, Comrade Harnath Reddy, Comrade Opulesu, all the members of the governing body who helped us in bringing out these volumes. Thank you very much.
Comrade, lunch break. Session is down to 3:30. We will meet again at 3:30. We will meet again at 3:30. 3:30 बजे मिलेगा. अब खाना नीचे है, बैठना ऊपर है, खाना नीचे है. हरिद्वार से खाना नीचे है.
Comrade, first allow our invited guest to go, and then you can go.
कामेश्वरो वै महाराजाय नमः. ओम ओम नमो नमो भवते जायमानोऽन्नां चतुर्दशा नेत्रे
భాగం దేవదురా చంద్రమా ఆస్తిరతి దీర్ఘమాయు ఆయుష్యేంద్రియ శ్రీ వెంకటేశ్వర పరిపూర్ణ
ఇక్కడ పెట్టకూడదు, కిందకి వెళ్ళండి.
రాజకీయాల్లో నానాటికి తెరమరుగు అవుతున్న పార్టీ సిపిఐ పార్టీ. సిపిఐ దేశంలో ఎక్కడ కూడా ఒక్క స్థానం లేని పరిస్థితికి ఎందుకు వచ్చింది అనే అంశాన్ని జాతీయ సమావేశాల్లో చర్చించాలని భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ డిమాండ్ చేస్తుంది. సిపిఐ కాంగ్రెస్ తర్వాత భారతదేశంలో ఒక బలమైన శక్తిగా ఉంటే ఈవేళ భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ దేశంలో సిద్ధాంతపరమైన రాజకీయ పార్టీగా దేశంలో అనేక రాష్ట్రాల్లో అధికారంలోకి వస్తూ ఉంటే ఈవేళ కమ్యూనిస్ట్ పార్టీ ఇక్కడ సభలు పెట్టి తమ ఉనికిని చాటుకునేటువంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీని దించడమే మా లక్ష్యంగా వారు మాట్లాడే ధోరణి ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇది చాలా పక్వం లేని, మెచ్యూరిటీ లేనటువంటి ఆలోచన విధానం. వారు దేశంలో రాజకీయాలు నడుపుతూ ఎక్కడైనా ఒక్క బీసీ వ్యక్తిని పార్టీల్లో కానీ, ఈవేళ ప్రధానమంత్రి పేదవాడిని పెట్టిన దాఖలాలు కానీ, పేద పార్టీని కలలగంటూ చాటుకునేటువంటి పార్టీ కమ్యూనిస్ట్ పార్టీ. దున్నేవాడికే భూమి ఇస్తానని వేళ్లతో సహా చెట్టు పడిపోయిన పార్టీ కమ్యూనిస్ట్ పార్టీ. వేళ నరేంద్ర మోడీ భారతదేశంలో 40 కోట్ల మంది మహిళలకి, పేదవాళ్ళకి, అకౌంట్ లేని వాళ్ళకి అకౌంట్స్ ఓపెన్ చేయించారు. పేదవాళ్ళకి 20 కోట్ల మందికి పేదవాళ్ళకి ఉచితంగా గ్యాస్ కనెక్షన్స్ ఇచ్చారు. ఈవేళ అనేక రకాలైనటువంటి తోపుడు బళ్ళు కార్మికులకి ఈవేళ వారికి బ్యాంకులో రుణ సౌకర్యాన్ని ఏర్పాటు చేశారు. ఈ విధంగా మహిళలకి ఒక అసెంబ్లీలో 60,000 మంది మహిళలు, దేశంలో ఎన్ని అసెంబ్లీలు ఉంటాయో వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా 20 లక్షల సౌకర్యాన్ని కలిగించాడు. అంటే మన ఆంధ్ర రాష్ట్రంలో 2 కోట్ల మందికి ఉచితంగా ఎల్ఈడి బల్బులు ఇచ్చారు మోడీ గారు. అంటే దేశవ్యాప్తంగా ఎంతమందికి బల్బులు ఇచ్చి ఉంటాడు? ఇది పేదరిక నిర్మూలనలో కమ్యూనిస్ట్ పార్టీల అధికారంలోకి రాలేకుండా వాళ్ళు చేస్తానని చెప్పేవన్నీ కూడా ఈవేళ భారతదేశంలో అమలు చేస్తున్న ఏకైక పార్టీ భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ. కాబట్టి ఈవేళ వాళ్ళు ఒక దీని మీద అంతర్మథనం చేయాలి. మోడీని దిబ్బడం కాదు, అంతర్మథనం చెయ్యాలి. అలానే రాష్ట్రంలో రావణా కాష్టం చేస్తున్న రాజకీయాల్లో ఈ 2 పార్టీలు కూడా అభివృద్ధి చేయలేనటువంటి పార్టీలు, అవినీతి పార్టీలు, అనేక అంశాల్లో అనేక వ్యవస్థలను భ్రష్టు పట్టిస్తున్న పార్టీలు ఈవేళ విశాఖపట్నంలో ఏమి అభివృద్ధి చేసామనేటువంటి విషయాన్ని ఒక వైట్ పేపర్ ఈ రెండు పార్టీలు ప్రకటించాలని భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ డిమాండ్ చేస్తుంది. 50,000 కోట్ల అభివృద్ధిని విశాఖపట్నంలో మేము చేశాం. కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం అవకాశం ఉన్నటువంటి 50,000 కోట్లు అభివృద్ధిని మేము చేశాం. మీరేం చేశారో ఈవేళ సమాజానికి సమాధానం చెప్పాలి. ఈవేళ ఉత్తరాంధ్ర వెనుకబడితనానికి ఈ రెండు పార్టీలు కారణం. ఈవేళ ఉత్తరాంధ్ర వెనుకబడితనానికి పెండింగ్ ప్రాజెక్టులు కంప్లీట్ కాకపోవడానికి ఈ రెండు పార్టీలు కారణం. అలానే రాయలసీమ వెనుకబడితనానికి ఈ రెండు పార్టీలు కారణం. దీన్ని అభివృద్ధి చేసినటువంటి పార్టీ రాయలసీమ ఐకానిక్ బ్రిడ్జ్. ఈవేళ ప్రపంచ దేశంలోనే మొట్టమొదటిసారిగా ఐకానిక్ బ్రిడ్జ్ పెట్టాడు. ప్రతి రాయలసీమ జిల్లాల్లో కూడా వేల కిలోమీటర్ల యొక్క రోడ్లు నిర్మాణం చేశారు. 100 కిలోమీటర్లు రైల్వేని అభివృద్ధి చేశారు. రాయలసీమ కానీ ఉత్తరాంధ్ర జిల్లాలు కానీ మీకు చెప్పుకోవడానికి ఏమీ లేక, ధైర్యం లేక, దమ్ము లేక రోడ్డు మీద వచ్చి ఈవేళ ప్రజల్ని డివిజన్ చేసే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తే అభివృద్ధితో మేము అందరినీ కూడా ఏకోన్ముఖం చేసే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తున్నాం. ధన్యవాదాలు. అభివృద్ధితో